What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Jay Renee with Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This morning, we got a brother by the name of Myron Brooks. All right, he's back. We spoke to him before, but now we're getting a chance to speak to him again after he sent us some mail that stands behind all the things that he told us. So we're going to talk to him about that and see what's going on. Hello. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. All right, so tell the people, those, if this is their first time, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself and where you from?
Yeah. My name is Myron Brooks. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And I've been wrongly convicted of a crime I didn't commit with all the evidence and all the proof to prove my innocence.
Right.
And I've been locked up for 27 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections, trying to prove my innocence. And with this call, I prove that somebody out there can hear me, hear my voice, and hear my prayer to prove my innocence in this case.
Right. All right, so I know we got a lot to cover. This will probably be a two-part call. The first thing that I'm looking at, let me see. Well, what is the first thing in this paperwork that you would like me to go over?
The identification.
Okay. All right, so I know that you were saying that when it comes to you being identified as the perpetrator in this crime, it didn't happen in the conventional sense. Can you explain a little bit more to everyone what happened in that regard?
Right. I was picked up for a homicide that took place in Eastern Michigan, where nobody know who the shooter was. And when after the police picked me up, I told them that I was not the shooter, and I never been to Eastern Michigan before. This was in a town I never even lived in or been in. And I said, if somebody told you I was in this town and to give me a lineup, and the lineup could have proved my innocence. I asked for the lineup before the preliminary examination or any identification ever took place. They denied my request for a lineup, and in the place of giving me a lineup, they knocked me out, tied me up, duct taped me, tied me to a chair, and rolled me in the courtroom. And at this time, and this was the first time I was ever identified for homicide in the courtroom, duct tape tied to a chair. The only person in the room, they had no one to choose from but me.
Right.
And that's how the identification of me ended up in prison came about. The whole issue in the courts where it's been proven in this case was who is the shooter. No one knows who the shooter is to this day, but I'm locked up. And that's the basis of the identification of this case. But to go further.
Right. So I'm sitting here looking at your paperwork, and I want to make sure everybody knows, like, I know they probably think it's so extreme about you being, duct taped and things like that, but it actually says in your paperwork, and I quote, he's shackled on his hands, and there appears to be duct tape that is going around his mouth. And then the judge, I guess Mr. Brooks, if that was the judge's name. No, hold on, let me see, Your Honor. Yeah. Can you breathe? You were asked if you could breathe. So that's something that definitely did happen. Now, I know you said you've never been in the state. You never been to that particular place, especially not in that night. So how did it lead up that they picked you as the person, besides you being willed in there? I know that you have someone that was over your case that was proved to be a crooked police officer.
Right. Okay.
It's good to have you back. We were about to touch on the officer that it was involved in your case, that it was found out that, he had lied and did all types of things while an officer. Can you explain a little bit more about that situation and who that officer is and who he was in your case?
Right. Yes, I can. Okay. in the beginning, you had asked, how did I end up coming into custody if didn't nobody knew who I was? It was a guy by the name of Alfonso Sims who actually must have brought a guy out to Inkster. And with the homicide, this guy, Alfonso Sims, he wasn't there. He never witnessed no crime. He probably dropped the guy off and then he left. And when he left, he never came back. So this is what they say. So when they pick Alfonso Sims up months later and asked him who the guy that they brought out to Inkster with him that day, he said my name. And in the process of him giving my name, the police picked me up. So this like 4 months later. And when the police picked me up, they asked me, did I go to Inkster with Mr. Sims? I told them, no, I ain't never been to Inkster with Mr. Sims. And that's when the lineup came in play, and they tied me up and threw me in the chair and let the people, wherever Mr. Sims went, pick me out. So.
Okay, so what made him, you said that, go ahead, I'm listening, I'm sorry.
Oh, right, so after all this here, I learned like 25 years later about this, the cop, the detective Hill of the Inkster Police Department, who was found to be corrupt, who was making people come get on the stand and say that these people committed a homicide. And the proof is, it's a guy named Cato Romanowski and George Clark, and it might be a third, who was exonerated from this homicide detective. This homicide detective, Gregory Hill of the Inkster Police Department, own daughter came forth and say she witnessed the murder and watched him put the wrong 2 people in prison. And she said, them murder. And her father told her to shut up and he would take care of it. These people ended up in prison through this homicide detective. Now they have been exonerated. So when the Michigan Wayne County Integrity Unit and the Wayne County Prosecutor Office, they made the Innocent Project. I sent my case to this Innocent. Is I'm going too far?
No, we right on point with you.
Okay, I sent my case to this Innocent Project, who was ran by the prosecuting attorney, Jim Worthy, and the director of the Integrity Unit is Valerie Newman. Now, Valerie Newman and Kim Worthy, as I presented my case of the identification and what they did to me, they said I had a very compelling case. Now, at this time, I'm not knowing that the homicide detective was making people get on the stand and say it was the defendant. But this was my argument all 27 years I've been locked up, that it wasn't me, that they made these people get on the stand and say it was me. One of the witnesses found me and sent me and called the Innocent Project and told them that they had the wrong man in prison. That same homicide detective made her get on the stand and say it was me. And she got the proof. Miss Renee had the proof of that too.
Yep, I'm about to say, I'm looking at the letter that was sent by her where she states exactly that. She states exactly that.
Right. So, in the process of me writing the Integrity Unit back and telling them that I had Detective Gregory Hill too, and he did the same thing to me that he did to the other people who was exonerated. The case even went to the Lester Hope show on the nightly news with Cato Romanowski and George Clark, and Valerie Newman and Kim Worthy was there, and they said that they would investigate every case that had something to do with Detective Gregory Hill of the Inkster Police Department.
Okay.
I had him too, and I should be going home too. So they telling me to patiently, just to patiently wait, and we'll get back with you. So a year go by, I patiently waited, and then they told me to wait till December. Then December come by, now they're telling me to wait till next year, knowing that I have a very compelling case of innocence. Everything that I presented to them is presented of my innocence. that this homicide detective did the same thing to me that he did to the other people who was exonerated. Y'all just never came to talk to me. But they have my case down there right before their eyes, and I need someone to see what is taking this prosecutor office and this integrity unit so long to release me out of prison. This is what I need. And is there anything you want to add, Miss Renee?
Yeah. So how long have the integrity unit? How long have they had your paperwork and all the proof of your innocence and how you were railroaded?
Okay, they had my case since 2018. But in 2018, my case held in that integrity unit with just the identification. I didn't know about the homicide detective at this time.
Okay.
I didn't learn about the homicide detective. So I was in the Muskegon Correctional Facility. They rolled me to Asian Correctional Facility. And I was letting the guy read my case. And when he seen the name Gregory Hill on the paper, he said, "You should be free." This guy, everything that this guy did, he did to you too. And then I still didn't know because I was just talking to an inmate. So I ran into another inmate who was telling me the same story. And he gave me the brief of Cato Romanowski and George Clark. And sure enough, Detective Hill is the most crookedest cop you could ever see. You know, he had all the witnesses get on the stand and say that these people committed crimes that they never committed. And once they was exonerated, they should have got with me and exonerated me too. And this is why I'm here. And my case is compelling to innocence because I'm the only person in the United States of America who in prison for a murder who never was identified before the preliminary examination. No eyewitness ever ID'd me for no crime until I sat in that chair. Just take time to...
Right. I'm looking at your paperwork. Right. I'm here with you, brother. I was actually going to bring that point up on the brief of support of motion to suppress and demand for evidentiary hearing. And it says that none of the aforementioned witnesses ever identified the defendant to the police by name or indicated that the defendant had been known to them prior to the alleged incident. There have been no lineup or photographic show-up conducted concerning this matter.
Right. And it's no case. If anybody listen to this, if they punch Myron Brooks' name in a legal document case and ask about identification of a person who asked for a lineup before the preliminary examination or any proceeding, the only case that's gonna pop up is Mr. Brooks. It's never been done before. I mean, they straight railroad me.
Yeah.
And they even went as far on the appeal to say that I didn't have a constitutional right to a lineup or a preliminary examination. Where they was playing on words and knew that I was innocent through this process because of the word Constitution. Constitution was, it should have been, I had a statutory right. But that should not hold an innocent man in prison because the lawyer messed up. A word.
I agree.
And not only that, the judge knew that these people, and Miss Renee got this piece of paper too. The judge knew that these people in this case here could not identify the guy that was sitting in that chair because the judge, Miss Sylvia James of the Eastern Courts, she was the lady who signed my warrant. She arraigned me, and she did my preliminary examination. And she denied my lineup. She knew that the people didn't know who the shooter was because in order for her to sign the warrant, she had to have the paper that said that the people were saying that there was an unknown black male and they didn't know who he was. And she signed that and got the warrant only based on Mr. Sims, who only can say that he took Mr. Brooks to a lady house and left. And they charged me with first-degree murder. Mr. Sam said. He don't even see a murder. He don't see nothing. And they charged me with first-degree murder. And I'm telling them that I didn't do it, and that's when that process came about. They just threw me in the courtroom, duct tape. You know the story. And I need help. I need somebody, and I'm telling you, the prosecutor office and the integrity unit is not saying that they're not going to let me go. Let's get that straight. They just ain't let me go yet. And I need somebody to know why they haven't not let me go to this day.
That's crazy. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that I know that I have their information to call and ask out. We're definitely gonna get others to inquire as well. What the holdup is. They've already taken so much time from you, and to continue to let you be somewhere they know that you don't deserve to be is absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
Right.
Tell the people how to get in touch with you if they want to reach out.
Huh?
Tell the people how to get in touch with you if they want to reach out to you.
Well, they can get in touch with me. My prison number is 165-506. My name Myron Brooks. I'm in the Michigan Department of Corrections, and you can get to me through JPay.
Okay. That's it.
JPay.com. And email me. That's where you my email address is jpay.com. Because I'm currently being incarcerated at Aging Correction Facility. And if you punch Myron Brooks 165-506 to jpay.com, you can email me. Okay. And I'll get right back with you.
All right, bro. I'm going to make sure that information is included as well. This is the first or the second of many conversations. We're definitely going to speak again so we can dive more into what's going on with you. Hopefully by then we'll have had some support happen to where we've had people reach out to the numbers that you've given me to find out what's the holdup. So